Thanks to our friend who supported the channel financially in the previous video. And before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and support the channel financially. John asked slowly, eyeing the assassin closely. You said your name was Jeffrey? Jeffrey answered calmly. Yes, he asked. You're Caucasian? Which country are you from? Jeffrey said. I'm from the United States. John narrowed his eyes. How did you come to know Swingman, who is Indian? Jeffrey said, unfazed. I don't discriminate against clients based on nationality. I only follow the money. The question had been unexpected, but Jeffrey didn't hesitate. Ryu had prepared him for this. He was ready. John pressed, saying, Seems like you've done a few contract jobs before? Jeffrey said, Yes, there are people looking for assassins everywhere, whether they are ordinary people or players. He inquired. You're so famous, yet I've never heard of you. You said you're an American? Jeffrey replied smoothly. You can't openly advertise that you're doing contract work, can you? There was nothing more to dig out. The conversation hit a wall. John shifted his gaze to Ryu and asked, Swingman, why did you hire this assassin before? Ryu said with a sharp tone. I needed someone for tailing, for personal reasons. That's how I got to know Jeffrey. Is that enough for you? The tension was palpable. John clenched his jaw but said nothing more. With no concrete reason to object, he sat back in silence. Trying to lift the mood, Spaniard clapped his hands and grinned, saying, All right, it sounds like he's experienced enough for us to trust him. Jeffrey, we're counting on you for a quick job, Jeffrey said with a confident smile. Don't worry. Then, in a blink, he was gone, vanishing into thin air without a sound. As an assassin, he used invisibility, leaving no trace behind. One apostle said, Now, let's wait for the assassin to bring good results, another said, nodding. Let's do that. They all smiled in satisfaction, except for John Delgado, whose uneasy expression never faded. Exactly 1 week before the next round, Jeffrey contacted them. Swingman shouted, He's here, one asked eagerly. What does he say? Did he find it? Swingman said. Yes, after tailing, he found the Black Scythe's residence, Spaniard said, his face lighting up. That's great news, the apostles beamed at the update. But John Delgado's expression remained stiff. His distrust hadn't waned, and he asked, Is that reliable information? Did he confirm that the Black Scythe is inside? Swingman said, Of course. Here's the video Jeffrey sent. They all gathered around to watch. The footage showed a figure in a white mask exiting a villa. Swingman said, This is him. The mask indicates that it's definitely the Black Scythe who attacked us before. He hesitated slightly. He was the only one who had seen the real Black Scythe. Could he confirm it without doubt? Number. But denying it was risky, too. John asked again, pressing him. Are you sure this is the Black Scythe? Swingman firmly said, Yes, I'm sure. I stake my life on it. That was enough. No one could argue after a statement like that. One apostle said, Ha ha, we finally found the Black Scythe's lair. Another said, Now all that's left is to assassinate him as planned. Dark Soul, cracking his knuckles, said, Leave it to me. I'll open the Black Scythe's lid with my divine sniping skills. But Yang Chiwen glared at him and said, Where do you think you're interfering? We agreed to follow my plan. Wait until the 12th round, Dark Soul said with a scowl. We know where he lives. What's the point in waiting? Just sniping him now will be enough, Yang Chiwen said, exasperated. You idiot! What if the sniping fails? The Black Scythe will move his base and the plan will be ruined. Don't you get it? Spaniard chimed in, saying, That's right. Dark Soul, it's better to proceed with Yang Chiwen's plan. We only have to wait a week, right? Dark Soul sighed and stepped back reluctantly and said, Fine, Yang Chiwen said, his voice filled with grim certainty. Then, as planned, I will prepare the Black Society members to slit the Black Scythe's throat, then Spaniard ordered. Yes, Yang Chiwen, make sure your men sneak into Korea by December 1st so they can strike at midnight, Yang Chiwen said with a confident nod. Leave it to me, the apostles smirked, satisfaction written all over their faces, but none of them knew. The residence was a trap set by Ryu, and their plan was already doomed to fail. No angel was unaware that the 7 archangels ruled over heaven. Recently, however, everyone in the celestial realm knew that their number had decreased to 6 after the mysterious death of Remiel, but the details of how Remiel died, or who had killed him, remained a secret known only to the archangels themselves. One archangel said, their face solemn. This is a serious matter. another replied, brows furrowed. Indeed, for the first time in a long while the Archangels gathered. In the past, they would meet only for the most significant events. Remiel's death had become one of them. Uriel, ranked 4th, said, his voice grave, "It's unprecedented. The 7 Archangels who maintained order for hundreds of years have been reduced to 6. This is a serious issue." Gabriel, 2nd in rank, said, his eyes burning with restrained fury. "I agree. The once unshakable reputation of the Archangels is plummeting. We need to make a move." Michael, ranked 1st, sat silently in his place. Usually calm and detached, he broke his silence at last and asked, "What should we do?" One Archangel, fists clenched in righteous anger, and said, "We must catch and kill the vile worm that killed Remiel." Another added, his wings bristling with fury, "Yes, we should bring him to heaven and skin him alive in front of everyone." Most of the Archangels were in agreement. The Black Scythe, this mysterious human, had to be punished publicly and severely. But Michael's expression tightened as he thought to himself, "This is troublesome." Bringing a player like the Black Scythe to heaven would immediately disqualify him from the survival game. He would become an outsider, no longer a participant. He wouldn't be able to return to Earth or join the future rounds. To the other Archangels, this didn't matter. All they cared about was vengeance, but for Michael, it did matter. And he said to himself, "To become God, I need the Black Scythe to win this game." In other words, Michael had to protect the Black Scythe at all costs, at least until the 20th round. The challenge was how to do that when the others were demanding blood, especially Raguel, the Archangel of Justice, ranked 5th. Raguel said, his voice firm and unyielding, "Michael, give me a chance. I will bring that vile human, the Black Scythe, to receive proper judgment." Michael frowned inwardly. He knew Raguel well. If Raguel confronted the Black Scythe, he wouldn't hold back. He would likely tear the man apart and drag his corpse to heaven. That couldn't be allowed. Michael said to himself, "I can't send Raguel. It would be better if I went myself, but then again, if I go and fail to achieve anything, the blame will fall on me." Eventually, someone had to be sent, preferably someone the Black Scythe could defeat. Michael's gaze drifted across the gathering, and then landed on the only Archangel who had remained silent this whole time, Sariel, ranked 6th, the Archangel of Death. Michael thought that if anyone, Sariel, who is closest in rank to Remiel, would be suitable. But then his thoughts darkened. Sariel is almost a counter to the Reaper class. The darkness of a Reaper cannot overcome the darkness of the Archangel of Death. A mere human with dark powers can't match that. He frowned. He will undoubtedly fail and be subdued. Yet still, Raguel could not be allowed to go. If he fought at full strength, the Black Scythe wouldn't stand a chance. Michael mused, saying, "I want to send someone the Black Scythe can handle, but the options are too limited. Anyone ranked 5th or 6th is already too dangerous. The higher-ranked ones, forget it." If he proposed sending lower-class angels, there would be resistance. The fact that the Black Scythe had killed Remiel, who had ranked 7th, meant he was already beyond mere humans. He added, "Who can I send that he has a chance against?" The room buzzed with tension. Then an Archangel shouted, "We must capture that human immediately, even if we have to open a dimensional gate," Gabriel said, shaking his head. "Opening a dimensional gate without the round starting requires a great price. There's no need to rush," Raguel snapped, glaring. "So you're saying we should let that worm roam free?" Gabriel said calmly. "Just wait until the 12th round starts, Raguel. I understand your feelings, but we must be rational. Consider the pros and cons," Raguel said, stepping forward. "Then allow me to go in the 12th round. I will capture that human and restore the dignity of the Archangels," Michael said suddenly, his voice like thunder cutting through the storm. "No." The room fell silent. Raguel demanded, "Michael, why?" Michael said coldly, "You've lost your composure. Sariel is more suited for the task. He's calm," Raguel argued, lifting his sword. "I can do it too. I can use this sword of judgment," Michael interrupted, saying, "Look at yourself, Raguel. You're so agitated." Raguel fell silent, eyes narrowing. Michael said, standing tall, "My decision is final. Sariel is the right choice for capturing the Black Scythe. There's no need for someone ranked as high as you to be involved in capturing a mere human." Someone muttered in agreement. That's true. Since Michael was the highest-ranking Archangel, the others had no choice but to respect his decision. Then Michael said to himself, if we must send someone, T should be Serial. At least that human might be able to manage it. He turned to the silent figure at the edge of the hall. Michael said, Serial, can you handle it? Serial's cold, expressionless face turned slightly and said in a soft, haunting voice, of course, Michael. Capturing a mere human is not a difficult task. Michael declared, saying, then it's settled. Serial will go to the other dimension when the 12th round begins and bring the Black Scythe here. Do not kill him. We need him to face judgment in heaven. Serial asked, is that all? Michael said, hesitating slightly. Ideally, bring him back unscathed. It won't be easy, but something flickered in Serial's eyes. His long, feathered eyebrows twitched, and he said, his voice steady with eerie confidence, I will make sure to bring him back without a scratch. Michael's stomach twisted with unease, and he said to himself, this is not what I intended. He had hoped to help the Black Scythe. Instead, his words had only fueled Serial's determination to carry out the mission with grim perfection. Meanwhile, Ryu was preparing to spring his trap, fully aware that his enemies would fall for it. The Heavens conspiracy and the plan to assassinate the Black Scythe were all intertwined. Ryu's carefully laid trap was about to set off a chain of events that would shake both heaven and earth.